Hello, Brother Anderson. This will be my final presentation for CIT 260. My team members were Ben Labrum, Theodore Hancock, and Wilson Christensen, and this is William Seaver. Static class variables belong to the class, not to the object. Variable is initialized only once at the start of the execution. Being public, it is shared across all instances in the game. Accessed directly by the class name does not need an object, and the syntax for a static class variable is className.variableName. For a non-static class variable, memory is created only once per game. Variable is specific to an object. It is final in an interface class. The variable must be assigned to a value when defined. Variable cannot be instantiated, and the syntax is object-reference.variableName. Calling a static function. In the game control class, we have a static function called createPlayer, which returns a player object and is passed a string called name. In the start program class, we will call the function by stating that the object of player equals gameControl.createPlayer player's name, which is passed from the end user input above, which is here. Calling a non-static function. The non-static function startGame here is called with the syntax of this.startNewGame within its own class. Array, ArrayList, and enum. For an array, which is fixed length, same data type, items can be changed, objects or primitive values referenced by an indexed. An enum is fixed length, same data type, items are constant, the objects or primitive values only, and referenced by indexed. An array list is variable in length, can be different data types, items can be changed, they convert primitive to object, and they are referenced by an index. On the left, we have an example of an enum for our inventory list. On the right is an array for our team of actors. We did not implement an array list in this game yet. Indexing through a list with a for statement. So this code is used for indexing through the map locations. The program will loop through the locations list and print a list of the available locations in the game. And we do that by indexing through with an incrementing statement, and then it will outprint all of those locations to the screen. Runtime errors. For a throw statement, this is an example of a throw statement in the code. If the cart weight is below 200 pounds, the program will print an error from the river crossing control exception. For propagate, for this sample of code, if you enter an invalid file path here as your input, or no path at all, a code will propagate from the game control exception and print an error message, as well as save the error to the log file. For our catch statement, we are going to use the saveGame class. We see a statement to stop and print an error if a runtime error occurs and print it to the console. Character stream versus byte stream. For character stream, a character stream will read a file character by character. A byte stream is basically a byte stream that has been wrapped with logic to allow it to output characters from an encoded file. Character stream can support all types of character sets such as ASCII, Unicode, UTF-8, UTF-16, and so on. Byte streams access files byte by byte. Java uses byte streams to input and output data in 8-bit bytes, suitable for any kind of data type. And if Unicode is used and a character is represented with, for example, 2 bytes, the byte stream will treat them separately and you'll need to do a conversion in your program. And byte streams do not use any encoding. Writing character data to an external file. In the main Oregon Trail class, we created an out file, in file, and a log file as seen here. And the goal here is to print errors to a log file. So in this try statement, we have code to open character stream files for the input and output of the end user. And we also create the file called log.txt where the data will be saved. Outputting runtime errors to log file. In the game control class, we have a static function called createPlayer, which returns a player object and is passed a string called name. I apologize, I am a slide ahead of myself. Sorry, this is our error view class where we actually print our error messages to our log file. And so now we will move into a demo of the game and what we have accomplished. So if we go here and we run this file, we get a nice welcoming statement telling us what the game is about and what you should expect as a player. And it asks for your input of your name, which brings you then to the main menu. From here, we can start a new game, which actually brings up the game menu. And in here, we have options for team status, supplies, set team pace, the scene menus, view the map. So if we go to team status, we see a message, everyone is alive. So that is the status of the team, but we can actually then view the team individually for the players that have been assigned, the actors that have been assigned to this team. And then we can print that team status file and we can return to the game menu. So in this menu, we can set the team pace. We can return to the previous menu. We have a nice scene menu here, which for this, we bring up the hotel menu as the current scene. And you have some options to stay the night, buy supplies, look around, download hotel tune lyrics. And then you can actually leave the hotel back to the game menu. We can view the map, which as if you come up here, you see the locations that are in the map. We have a help menu, which will give you game objectives, which we have not implemented yet. How to move, tips for the game, and we can return to the game menu. From here, we can return to the main menu, which we can look at a help menu for kind of the same options that you get in the game. We can return to the main menu. We have a save game here, which asks you for the file path of where you want your file to be saved. We have a get and start saved game, and we can quit the game as well, which brings us for some reason back to the help menu. So if I go return here, brings us back to the main menu. I apologize for the quit menu being a little out of order. I'm afraid I don't know why that happened. But this has been the game that we worked on as a team for CIT 260, and I